Hi and welcome to Clear Intentions. I'm DC. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're doing well and taking care of yourself, including your mental happiness. Life can be a lot sometimes, and we must approach those difficult moments from a rational standpoint if it's our intention to find a rational balance, especially when we're in a relationship. We want to make sure we are making good decisions from a place of clarity. Clarity allows us to see situations for what they are, not for what we hope they could be. A truly healthy, fulfilling relationship is not a union of two incomplete people looking to become whole. It's the coming together of two complete people who have taken the time to get to know themselves, love themselves, and grow into a place of peace and acceptance. The idea that someone else is supposed to complete us may sound romantic, but it's rooted in a misunderstanding of what love and partnership is truly about. When two people enter into a relationship from a place of need, lack, or unresolved issues, the relationship becomes a breeding ground for chaos, codependency, resentment, and dysfunction. When someone is not whole within themselves, their frequency will attract a similar mate, often entering in relationships seeking healing from the other person, expecting their partner to fix them, fill their emotional voids, or make up for the parts of themselves that they've neglected and somehow hold them accountable for when it fails. That's not love. That's a bandage on a gaping wound that only the individual can truly fix. You can't build a healthy relationship on unresolved trauma or half-hearted awareness. It'll crumble under the weight of the expectation. Being whole means being at peace. It means that you have taken responsibility for your own healing. You've faced your darkness, sat with your insecurities, and done the inner work to rise above it all. You've stopped projecting your pain onto others and have learned how to communicate without acting out irresponsibly. You're self-aware enough to know what your triggers are and how to manage them, and how to show up with emotional integrity. Now consider what would happen when someone who has not done that work and has entered into a relationship. Add to that the natural demands of life: work, school, family, children, financial pressures, and personal goals. Life is already full of stressors and responsibilities. Relationships are meant to support us through those challenges, not compound them further. But when you're not at peace with yourself, when you haven't addressed your inner wounds, those outside pressures become amplified within the relationship. Every disagreement becomes personal, every rough patch becomes a crisis, and instead of being a safe space, the relationship becomes a battleground. Many people underestimate what it really takes to sustain a relationship. They assume that love alone is going to carry them through. While love is essential, it's not going to be enough. It must be supported by effort, communication, and emotional maturity, shared value, and the willingness to adapt. Relationships are not self-driving vehicles that continue to move forward just because you started them. They require intentionality. They require both people to continuously show up, to do the work, and to grow, not just together, but individually as well. One of the biggest issues is the belief that fulfilling your role is enough. Some think that as long as they're providing financially or taking care of the house or fulfilling physical needs, their job is done. You cannot just coast through on autopilot, checking boxes and assuming that all is done. The depth of connection comes from the unseen things, the conversation, the support, the empathy, the ability to listen, and to say you're sorry. Saying sorry is a simple word, but yet it holds the power to bring about profound healing. It's more than just an expression. It's an act of humility, a conscious choice to set aside ego and acknowledge the pain or the hurt that you may have caused. It takes strength to admit when we are wrong, to face the discomfort of accountability, and to sincerely offer an apology, not just with words, but with intention in our heart. Too often pride robs us of peace, but when we choose humility, we choose growth, we choose compassion, we choose humanity. Sorry is not weakness. It's a courageous step towards reconciliation, and it shows emotional maturity. We must be honest with ourselves before stepping into a relationship. Do we have what it takes to sustain something real? Are we emotionally available? Are we self-aware enough to take accountability for our actions? Are we resilient enough to handle the ups and downs that come with loving another person deeply? If the answer is no, then the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for others is to take a step back and do the inner work first. Some people fear being alone so much that they rush into a relationship with anyone who offers a temporary escape from solitude. They distract themselves with substances, alcohol, or high-risk partners, not realizing that these are all symptoms of emotional unavailability. If you can't sit with yourself, and if you can't find peace in your own presence, then you're going to bring that unrest into every relationship you have. You'll always be running from yourself. To get to a place of contentment, it asks that you bring your whole self to the table, not just the parts that you're comfortable showing. And that can't happen if you're still hiding from your own reflection. A partner can't save you from yourself. They can't fill your voids or carry the weight of your healing. That's your work, and that's your responsibility. When two whole people come together, the relationship doesn't become their identity. It becomes a beautiful addition to lives that are already fulfilled. They're not relying upon each other for survival or happiness. They complement each other. They build together from a place of oneness, not lack. There is space for growth, for challenges, for transformation, because the foundation is strong. Whole people understand that love is not possession. It's not about control or dependency. It's about freedom, respect, and choosing one another each day, not because they have to, but because they want to. It's not about fixing one another. It's about supporting one another's evolution. There's no fear in being alone because both individuals know their worth and are at peace with themselves. But when two halves come together, it creates a constant push and pull dynamic. One or both people are often operating from a place of fear, fear of abandonment, fear of being unlovable, fear of rejection. These fears are what shapes their behaviors. They might become controlling, overly dependent, jealous, emotionally volatile. The relationship becomes about survival rather than love. It's not just the responsibility of the partner to carry the emotional load, it's a shared experience. And that experience is only fruitful when both individuals have the emotional capacity to give, to receive, and to grow together. That capacity only comes from oneness, and that wholeness is cultivated in solitude, in those quiet seasons where you choose to face your pain rather than run from it. In the hard conversations that you have with yourself, in therapy, in journaling or prayer, in silence, in learning how to self-validate, how to enjoy your own company, how to build a life that brings you joy, independent of anyone else's presence. We glorify relationships as though they're the end goal, but what we often fail to ask is, who are we before we enter them? Because that person, whole, fractured, peaceful, chaotic, is who we will bring to the relationship. And no matter how beautiful the other person is, no matter how much they love us, they cannot love us into healing. They can't complete us. That's our job. So if you're not whole, don't rush into a relationship hoping it'll fix what solitude can fix. Give yourself the gift of being whole. So when the time comes, you're ready to share yourself fully, not as a half, but as a whole, radiant human being who doesn't need someone else to survive, but chooses someone to thrive with. Let's shift the narrative. Let's stop looking for our other half. Let's start becoming a whole person. We don't enter relationships out of desperation or need. We enter them out of choice. You're not seeking someone to save you, but someone to walk beside you as you grow together. We may not always see things as they are, only as we feel them. And emotions can cloud our judgment if we're not balanced by clarity and self-awareness. In the heat of infatuation, loneliness, and longing, we may excuse behaviors that blatantly cross our boundaries. We may ignore the red flags and even abandon our own standards. But when we are rooted in self, when we have done the work to know who we are, and what we need, and what we deserve, we move differently. We trust our instincts and we honor our values. If you've made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you watching and thank you so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if anything resonated with you here, let me know in the comments. See you in the next video. Until